The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development, with a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Hey, Jen, how are you?
Fantastic. It's so great to see you guys.
Good. I'm Tony and Crystal. We just want to say hi to you.
Hi. So I'm having a little bit of technical issues. My browser just completely reset a second ago. So
there we go. We learned in the expo just to breathe.
Working on it.
So I'm going to do a quick little introduction, give you a couple seconds during your introduction, and then we're just going to throw it to you, and you're going to have, the rest of the hour to do what you do. We'll come back in about 5 minutes before just to give you some love and help you wrap up, and then and just ask you a couple questions.
Awesome. Do I need my own virtual background, Tony?
Well, it's just a green screen with a little white top on the thing, so it's really up to you for this to go into the archives. If you have it, that would be great. If you don't, this works.
Okay. I thought that they said just do a green screen, then they were going to create it. So that's what I did. We just go with the flow. So it's really about what you're sharing. Okay. If you're able to put the camera in just a little bit to take off the little white there, the full green, we can do it in post as well. So the wonders of technology. Because otherwise you go down to lighting and stuff.
Yeah, you just have to pull the green screen closer or your camera closer, but that's fine. We'll just go with it. I'm going to do a quick little introduction, though, so it's an honor to introduce you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Jen Beck, she is our speaker. She's an international coach for women over 40 who have been struggling with weight and health issues. And over the last 20 years, Jen has empowered thousands of women to transform their lives by ditching the diets and drugs and instead solve the root cause of their health and weight challenges. She coaches women on how to create long-lasting results through small strategic changes. This is Jen Beck. So how are you today?
Fantastic, Tony. Thanks so much for a great introduction.
Thank you.
Excited to be here today.
Well, we're happy to have you. I really want to just give you as much time as possible. So again, we'll jump on about 5 minutes and just say bye to you. So again, Jen Beck, everybody put your hands together. Very honored to hear this share.
Thank you. Thank you. So in America, we have a huge problem. And I mean huge, right? We are the fattest country in the entire world. Over 60% of our population is overweight, and over 40% is actually obese. So we are dealing with massive issues. And here's the thing that most people don't realize, that I personally think is a bigger problem, is the fact that we last year, as a country, as an economy, spent $72 billion on that problem. And yet, over the last 18 years, we have increased the amount of obesity in our country. We've increased the amount of obesity in our kids. Our kids last year were at 18.5% of all of our kids. Almost 20% of our kids are obese. Now, I don't know about you, but I remember when I was a kid, there was like the one fat kid in the class. And now it's really becoming more of an epidemic. And I think with that, I think we can all agree that diets don't work. Yet we keep spending more and more money on trying to find the solution for our weight and our health issues. And so what I'm going to talk about today are the 3 secrets that the diet gurus don't want you to know, right? We're talking about, the experts in fitness and weight loss that tell you just, all you have to do is just eat less than what you burn and you'll be fine. Right? Or maybe it's Weight Watchers that tells you how to count points or teaches you how to count points, but doesn't tell you why your body needs to eat certain foods or which foods are the right ones for you. And they're still pushing processed foods and packaged foods at us. Right? Or maybe it's keto, where it's overhaul everything today, go into total ketosis, and make sure that you have 0 carbs whatsoever. Unfortunately, it's just not sustainable. Most people are struggling with their weight today because they are trying to fit into a box that is one size fits all, and none of us are the same as anybody else. So it's so important that we look at what's right for our bodies. And I get it. I mean, there's the desire to lose weight, and it's important, right? It's important because when you're overweight, what does it affect? It affects our health. It affects our energy. It affects our moods. It affects our interactions with our kids. It interferes with our performance at work or in the gym. So when we're overweight, there are so many different impacts for us. And when we have the ability to lose that weight, it does free up a lot of things in our lives. But I'm going to talk about why weight shouldn't be the primary focus. Okay. And I get going on a diet. Believe me, I've been on tons of them. I remember when I was younger, I did the cottage cheese and carrot diet for an entire year. Literally for lunch every day for a year, I ate cottage cheese and carrots. Why? Because it was low fat and low calorie, and that's what you should do, right? And unfortunately, it didn't do anything for my waistline. And then I went on the Mayo Clinic diet where you eat 500 calories a day and you have a cup of black coffee with each meal, and there you go. And let's see, Weight Watchers. I mean, I've done them all. And the thing that I've come to realize over the last 20 years of working with women and helping them to ditch the diets and reclaim their health is that there's no one size fits all. It's about creating a lifestyle, which diet is supposed to mean lifestyle, but we've completely bastardized the word and changed it into, I'm going to eat like this until I get to where I want to go. And then I'm going to go back slowly to all the things that I was doing in the first place that created my weight gain originally. So I want to really leave you with this, is that diets don't work. And I think we can all agree with that. But we need to do something different. And that's why today I'm going to share with you the 3 secrets that the diet gurus don't want you to know so that you can ditch the diets and create freedom. So the first secret I want to talk to you about is the secret of eating for your body, right? This goes back to, when you have a girlfriend that goes on a diet and you go on the exact same one and she loses 20 pounds and you gain 10, right? It doesn't matter what the right diet is unless it's the right one for you, right? Because there's a ton of different diets that are out there, but it has to be the one that's right for you. So one of the things that I recommend people doing is learning their metabolic design. Your metabolic design is how much protein, fiber, and fats that you need, and then which of those foods are your best fuel, and which ones are going to slow you down and sabotage your health.
If you're interested in finding your true purpose, if you're interested in finding your legacy, if you're interested in growing, if you are sick and tired of reading books that don't help you, haven't helped you, or are not helping you, or attending courses and seminars that haven't really had an impact in your life, I invite you to read my book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose, out now. For more information, go to www.thequestion.co. If you're interested in working with me, contributing, speaking at any of our many events, partnering, or licensing The Best You, for more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Now, I do this is an assessment I do in the office. If you want to start looking at yours, the best thing you can do is start tracking how you feel after a meal. So if you eat a meal and a half an hour later, you're tired and sluggish, you have digestive issues, a headache, all of those are indicators that the foods that you're eating just aren't working for you. So you can start honing in on where you are, how you're feeling, and what's next. Okay. So it's really important that you're paying attention to your body, right? And if we don't, we end up with energy crashes. We end up with cravings and hunger and all types of different challenges in our health, which can simply be fixed by what we stick in our mouth and changing that. You may not know that the Journal of the American Medical Association came out and said that 74% of all disease is linked to what we put in our mouth. 74%. So the thing is, we've got to personalize it. And we can look at what food sensitivities we have. We can look at how much protein, fiber, and fat are ideal for what your body needs. Because again, it has to be personalized to you. Otherwise, it doesn't work. We end up with the spikes and crashes in our blood sugar and our energy levels. I have a client that I worked with a couple years ago, and the first day we worked together, we did her metabolic design assessment. And she learned that day how much protein, fiber, and fat she needs, and then which foods to eat and which ones are not ideal for her. And from that day to the next 2 weeks, she dropped 9 pounds. She was forcing herself to go to bed at 11 o'clock at night instead of falling asleep on the couch when she come home from work at 6. And she was actually volunteering to take her girls to their activities versus, putting them off on her husband. And her coworkers even commented about how happy and how pleasant she was to be able to work around. So it was a massive transformation because she implemented one thing, one change in eating for what her body needed versus what all the plans that she had been on before. Because she had done the South Beach and the Weight Watchers, and and some of them are even more obscure or more extreme. Things like the frugivore diet or veganism or the carnivore diet, where all you eat is meat and that's all. Right? So there's a lot of different diets, but the thing again is just to go back to what works best for you. Because if you're not eating for your body, again, it's really hard to lose weight. And when we're looking at a metabolic design, there's a spectrum. You have carbohydrate on one end and protein on the other end. And anywhere in between, there's a sliding scale. For somebody that is a protein design, they need to have half of their plate coming from protein, and the other half coming from veggies and from fats, because they don't do really well on carbs and sugar. Now, somebody on the other end of the spectrum, on the carbohydrate end, they need 70% of their diet coming from carbohydrates, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, not really a lot of sugar, right? Because we're looking to maximize our health and maximize our weight loss. But it's important to still have the other balance of the proteins and fats. And so that scale, you're somewhere on that scale. And when you know how much of your plate should look like that and anywhere in between, we can really customize what you need to be eating and then fine tune it into, it's really not ideal for you to be eating steak because your body doesn't convert it well into energy. Right? When somebody's a carbohydrate design, their body is slow in converting food into energy. So they need to eat foods that convert faster, which is why grains and fruit and veggies work well. Now, somebody's a protein design absolutely can eat a steak and enjoy it and will have the ability to digest it. So it's important that we look at what's right for your body, because your body is the only body that we should be worried about. Okay. So secret number two is getting to the root cause, right? There are reasons why you have weight loss resistance. And for many people, they just think that the diet didn't work for them or that they failed the diet. And I just want to reassure you, it is not that you failed the diet, it's that the diet failed you. Diets are set up for failure. Why? Because the diet gurus wouldn't make any more money if they healed everybody and nobody had to work on losing weight. So diets don't work because they overhaul everything in one day. They're not sustainable. And then they don't work. And then we go, oh, I got to find the next one. What's the next one that I can try? What's the next one that's going to work? Right? And so it's a matter of finding the root cause of why your weight isn't moving and why you're not able to release it. And there's about 9 different reasons why we have weight loss resistance. We can have thyroid issues, hormonal issues. We can have liver congestion. We can have poor gut health. We can have food sensitivities. You can be dehydrated. Did you know that dehydration, your body actually packs on weight to start or to help regulate your body temperature if you're dehydrated? Something as simple as drinking more water can be able to help, but you've got to get to the root cause, right? It can be emotional. I have women that I've worked with over the years where they have, they've been dealing with emotional issues. Maybe they had some emotional trauma, like, abuse, bully, rape, molestation, things like that. And now their subconscious mind feels safer when they're not being visible or not being seen. So many of these women can lose weight for a little while, but as soon as they start getting attention, they start packing it back on to feel safe again. Right? And sometimes we're dealing with high insulin levels, inflammation, right? There's so many different reasons why we have weight loss resistance and why we can't lose weight. And so when we get to the root cause, it allows us to transform our overall health. So just to do a quick little mini assessment and follow along with me on this, if you have extra weight and you can't lose it, chances are you're dealing with one of the things that I just discussed. Right? But if you wake up in the morning and you have pain and you can't lose weight, chances are you have high inflammation. If you have a thickness in your neck that goes around here, that can be thyroid. For some people, it can also be more insulin resistance. It depends on where you carry your weight, right? That tire around the middle can be thyroid. If it's more below the belly button, especially for women, it can be estrogen dominance. If you have more of that beer belly effect, that's liver, right? So getting to the root cause, we can look at different factors and trying to get to the bottom of it. But if we don't, we are doomed to not only have poor weight loss, we're also doomed to long-term health issues, because our health is the most important thing. It's important to get to the root cause of why you're dealing with weight in the first place. A lot of people think that weight is the issue. And I'm here to tell you, weight is not the issue. If you lose weight, will you feel better? Yes, absolutely. Will you be more confident? Will your clothes fit better? Yes, all of those things are true. However, if we only lose weight, we haven't fixed the root cause. So guess what comes up again? Or guess what is made worse?
If you're interested in watching the video content of this interview and many others, or interested in learning from world leaders and teachers, go to www.thebestyou.online.
Now, that's not to say that some of the things you do to lose weight aren't also addressing that root cause. But for most people, I have found the most success, and especially lasting success, by helping them get to the root cause and healing that root cause. Okay? For example, I have a gal that when we worked together, she was in her mid-50s. She had tons of health issues, and she had been trying to lose weight for over 30 years. She had done Weight Watchers when she was in her 20s, hit her goal weight. Yay, congratulations. Now she's a free lifetime member. Unfortunately, she was back to Weight Watchers 1 to 3 times a year, every year for 30 years. She also had tried just about every other diet under the sun. And when she met me, or when we worked together, she was still dealing with health issues. She had just finished the hospital program where you drink 3 shakes a day and have a sensible meal. And she had just finished that. And over the course of a year, she lost 4 pounds. 4. And they said, great job, keep going. And she's paying $600 a month for 4 pounds a year. It's insanity. So she went through my immersion program. It's a 3-month program. And in that 3 months, we got to the root cause of her health issues. We got to what her body needed, and then helped her to plan and implement it so she could live it and not diet. And in that 3 months, she dropped 25 pounds. She put her rheumatoid arthritis completely in remission. She got off 3 blood pressure medications that she had been on for over 30 years. And it was an easy transition for her because we do it baby step at a time. So think about yourself, or think about that person that you know that has struggled with losing weight. And think about what your core issue could be. Is it insulin? Right? Insulin is like a fat fertilizer. So when you eat sugar, your blood sugar bounces up and down, and so does your energy levels. Right? And I know this. This is how I lived in my 20s. I drank a half a pot of coffee for breakfast. I had, some kind of carb with it, whether it be a donut or a bowl of cereal or toast. And then lunch was usually fast food. There was a couple Diet Mountain Dews in the afternoon, and then a ton of sugar throughout the day, because all I was doing was existing. I was surviving the day. I wasn't necessarily thriving. And so when I started eating for my body, it was amazing the transition that happened, because all of a sudden my energies were stable. Instead of doing the coffee in the morning, I switched to water and a green smoothie. And at that point, I didn't need the coffee and sugar anymore because I already had great energy. And then I was eating nourishing foods for lunch. And I ate nourishing meals for dinner instead of lean cuisines, right? And it was amazing because when we eat right for our body, things just work right. So if you're struggling with your health, look at the root cause, or if you're struggling with weight loss, look at the root cause about what is going on and why is it happening? Because the bottom line is figuring out what that root cause is allows you to have the transformation lifelong, because you no longer are fighting your body. You're no longer fighting the scale. You're just living and fueling your body the way that it wants to be fueled. And you've taken care of and healed that root cause. Now, secret number 3 is really your relationship with food, okay? And your relationship with food is driven by a couple of different things. We all have a food story, right? We all have ways that we grew up in the culture of our family, the influences, some of the programming that we received then, right? Anybody part of the Clean Plate Club, right? You're going to sit there until you finish every vegetable on that plate, right? And sometimes maybe we were there until bedtime, or it's, you come home from school and you had a bad day and you got a cookie. And maybe you came home from school and you had a good day and you got a cookie. Or, you only eat healthy foods, or you do, your family is a soda drinker, or you do pizza and soda on Friday nights, right? For a Friday night treat. We all have these patterns and habits that we've grown up with, and most of us take them into our adult life until we decide they're not serving us anymore. So it's really important that we look at where we're at now and where do we want to go. Okay, there's an acronym that I love, because here's the thing: if we don't address our relationship with food, you're going to default back to the way that you were living before. Right? If you are a stress eater or an emotional eater, maybe you're one of the victims of the COVID-19, not the virus, but the 19 extra pounds that many people are carrying after 2020. Right? Maybe it's because of the stress eating, or because you're at home and there's the ability to snack all the time and things like that. And so it's really important that we get to look at, why are we doing what we're doing? What are the choices that we're making, and are they serving us or not? So there's a great acronym that I love that Overeaters Anonymous uses a lot. It's called HALT. And it stands for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And this is an incredible tool that you can use when you start feeling like, I just need something, right? Or you start wandering in the pantry, or you start going and you start having cravings. Pause and think about, why do I want this? Because when you can pause and you can look at yourself and start to figure out what those drivers are, then it puts you back in the driver's seat. Because if we're just living on default or on autopilot, chances are we're going to end up sitting in front of the TV with a bag of chips or a bag of cookies. It's not going to be, I think I'd like to have some carrots and hummus while I watch TV. Now, not to say that nobody will do that, but chances are we're not going to be mindlessly eating a lot of nutritious foods. It's usually the comfort foods. It's usually the habitual foods. And many of those are not serving you if you're trying to lose weight.
I agree 100%. I always have these almonds ready in case my blood sugar drops versus candy, because you might get that instant satisfaction, but then the drop after the spike could be deadly.
Absolutely.
Could be deadly.
Absolutely.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we are on a tight timeline, so I wanted to say thank you so much for sharing. Is there places people watching could go to see more about this topic?
Yes, absolutely. You can go to CompleteHealthRevolution.com. You can also follow me on Facebook at Complete Health Revolution. And I've got a free gift for everybody, and it's how to drop a dress size in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And so if you go to CompleteHealthRevolution.com/free gift, you can be able to find it there, download it, and it's a step-by-step guide on how you can be able to download or drop a dress size in 3 weeks.
Pretty amazing. I need to drop a dress size. Well, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for being at the Best You EXPO here in Miami. We're really excited to have you. Make sure you stick around for the rest of the week. We've still got another day to go. This is the Best You Miami. I'm Tony Boldy, your co-host. My other co-host is on the other stage where Dee Dee Wong is going to be. So you guys, if you're watching, just keep watching the link you're watching. We'll do all the work for you. Again, you're watching the Best You TV. We'll see you guys in a minute. Stay tuned.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.